Hey everyone, hope you're having a good summer and making the most out of it. This tutorial we're going to do some pipe texturing on a surface. I'm using Rhino 7, work in progress. So I'm just going to play with a sub D surface right now. And this part's not super important necessarily, so I'm just going to, if everything goes right, of course. So I'm going to make pretty simple, just whatever form, doesn't matter. This one might, maybe we'll do some towers today. So I might just rotate this and bring it up, just like so. And do something like that. And we'll give it kind of a belly, like so. Alright, subdivide it out a little bit more, and maybe we'll bridge there to there. So give it a little bit of something. Might sub these out, and then give that a little bit of a belly. So again, really, I'm trying to keep this modeling super basic, nothing special. All right. So from here, I'm just gonna put it at 0, 0, 0. Awesome. Okay. So go to Grasshopper. I'm gonna make this a B rep real quick. So just poly surface, Grasshopper. We're gonna type in B rep, set 1 B rep, and then contour, just like so. We're gonna go in the Z direction for now. I don't know what scale we're working in, so I'm just typing 1. That seems all right. Okay. And I'll get these all lined up. There we go. And I'm going to divide each one of those curves by a length. So if that's 1, we're just going to do 1 on the division. Just like so. Then what I want to do is basically we're going to move it in the X and the Y. Just the point. So X vector, Y vector. Alright. Plug those into there. I'm going to type in 0.155. Plug them into the X and the Y. And then we're going to type in line. A to B. Now if we were to hide everything, all this is going to give us this little tiny lines everywhere, just like so. Obviously we can change that if we want. Alright, then from here, all I want to do is extrude those lines upward, Z direction. Let's say 15 period, 15 period. Okay. We are going to mess with the variations a little bit later, but I want to mesh B-rep all these, join them. This will keep our model relatively light. And then in Weaverbird, I'm just going to make them a little bit thicker to the amount we're actually moving, just like so. And if we hide all that stuff, we should end up with kind of this pipe texture so far. So if we were to bake that out, it's just going to literally be the contours of that surface we just created. So already looking all right for the most part. Okay, but that's not what I'm thinking. So we're going to give it a range on the amount of extrusion. So I'm going to just type in domain, construct it. I'm going to type in, let's say, 50 period. That'll be our max range. And then for our lower range, we're going to just put it quite a bit lower, just like that. Then I'll type in range, set our domain. We'll need a list length for the number. Oh, let's just type in length. There we go. So it's going to be those, or these lines into those numbers, just like that. And then we'll type in jitter, give some variations to it. Basically from here, plug that in. See where that takes us. Put it into flatten, I believe. No, shoot. Now give it a second. My mistake. Give it 1 sec. My pauses. Alright, so I stopped that luckily. Looks like our Weaver bird's messing up. So we just turn these on before we thicken. So I wonder if we thicken right there. Then we just join it from there. Alright, so that's working. Alright, so that's the kind of variations I was looking for at the top there. Now these are looking pretty cool if we bake it out. You might want to limit how far it's going up because we're kind of missing some of the cooler detail that's happening. Yeah, so the bottom's looking pretty sweet. Alright, so I'm just going to come back to here. So this is at 16, this is at 50. That's pretty far off, so kind of a lower value. Start to still see some detail happening. And then within our contour, I'm going to go back here. Let's do every 0.5. It's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to type in custom. Then we want to have to bake it every single time to see what it's looking like. Okay, color, just do white. Hide this. Alright, so that's looking pretty cool. So you can see kind of some organization happening, and then it kind of gets a little bit sporadic in the back. I just wonder if we bridge another spot, or we make this overall just a little bit wider on our design surface that we're using. But let's just get the fine tuning done first. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, 0.2, a little bit thinner. That'll add kind of nice striations happening there. And then you can actually bring this out just a little, at least, let's do 5. Okay. And then if we just go back to our design surface, and just type in show, I'm just going to make this a little bit wider. Give it a minute. There we go. That's looking a lot better. So if we hide that now, make it a little bit wider in this direction as well. There we go. That's starting to look pretty cool. Right. So I'm just going to bake that out. I'm just going to duplicate it. Rotate it over. And then maybe just mirror it. So kind of get a view that kind of represents it from all angles. I'm just going to slightly rotate this. Show some hierarchy. Here I'm just going to scale it at the bottom, so this one's a little bit taller. Maybe this one's a little bit shorter. There we go. Yeah, so that's looking pretty cool. Alright, so I think we're done with that. I'm just going to join all 3 of those together. It's quite a bit of geometry. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I don't know what scale we're working in, so I don't want them to be super big, so when we go to render it takes forever. So let's just scale it, and let's say this overall site is about, I don't know, 50 feet. Alright, so I'll take that same bounding box. Let's make it the land that we're going to render it on. I'm thinking this is going to be kind of a wintry scene. So I'm going to rebuild this. And as usual, let's put in some water. I'm just going to draw a sketch around all the areas. So there's just kind of water trickling through all three of these. So it's almost like some sort of monument or something like that. Maybe this one splits in. Alright, type in pipe. And let that run. Okay. Now I'm going to mesh that. Lowest settings possible. Type in mesh outline. Give it a sec. Group those lines. Oop, delete that mesh. I'm going to take these lines, group them really quickly. I don't need that small line. And we're going to go to our select bar. Select everything anew. I'm going to rebuild them. So 75 each. Yep. And then type in smooth. Not that smooth. Looks pretty good. Okay. More than likely our land doesn't need to be super, super big. Okay. I'm just going to trim out those surface with those curbs. Change the land to grass. Change the water to water. Okay. And then if we're going to do a snow scene, I want to kind of show some little hills out in the distance. And something like that I think will look cool. Oh, wrong way. Okay. Yeah, we'll just redo that really quick. So, turn those points back on. That'll be a hill. This will be a hill. Just a small one. And I'll just type in smooth. It's really subtle. Alright, I'm going to change these to just some random material. I think I'll just make them probably white in the model, so it's a nice blending scene. And then we'll just export. And this Collada. And I'll load it up in Lumion. Alright, so all imported into Lumion. It's going to raise up the entirety of the model up, so we're not sitting on the ground plane here. Alright, so let's do some material editing. I'm going to make this grass nice and natural. Wild grass 3D. Didn't take too long, so the model is pretty light, which is good. That's our water material. There's our view right there. Okay, so I'm going to change this to let's see what some tiles would look like. Looks pretty cool. A pretty big relief, reflectivity kind of down, so we capture a lot of the sun. And let's add in some trees in the background. Let's see if we can get some let's see if we can get some pines. There's pines. Okay. These are just going to be in the background, pretty far away. Okay. And add in some kind of odd looking ones maybe. See what else they got in here. Let's try to get some bushes in here somewhere. Lots of clicking. Let's just see if we can get just some regular plants. I'm doing the single placement just because I don't want to go too crazy on some of these. Switch that up just a little bit. One per, maybe two. Those. Get some color in here. Color in the background just a little bit. Perfect. Okay, and then let's add a few ducks flying around. Let's see, do quite a few. Right. We're just going to select them all. Currently they're on the ground, so we need to bring them upwards. It's a lot of birds, but that's alright. Alright, then I'm just going to move these guys kind of in the background. Lower them. That's looking pretty cool. Might add just some quick vegetation around the sides. Looks a little empty. Alright, just a few more. Alright, let's pick a shot. I don't know why those trees in the background are floating, so we may take those out after we get everything pretty much set up. I want to get kind of a nice broad shot of all this. Something like that I think will do. Okay, we'll go to our camera, make sure it's in 2-point, custom, realistic. Gotta add some precipitation, gonna make it snowy. Show some green. Okay, now I'm gonna adjust our view just a bit. Want to make sure I'm not cutting off the birds. So I might add, let's put a horse in there maybe. Right there. Just probably gotta have a friend. Nah, single horse. There we go. I think that's a pretty cool shot. And then let's do some real skies potentially. So maybe say a dramatic evening maybe. See how dark it gets. I want to be able to see some shadows, so I'm nervous about doing. Let's just see what that looks like. Looks a little dark for now. But overall, looks pretty cool. I'm liking how everything's showing up. Change the lighting, definitely. Maybe just pick a different sky. Yeah, but overall it's looking pretty cool. Change the sky, might have to be maybe just a little bit overcast. Maybe not that overcast, I guess. Better one. Go to our color correction. The temperature shouldn't be so warm. Okay. Yeah, it's still pretty dark. Might have to just go with just a sun. Oh, it's almost too bright. Looking pretty cool. I think we might just go with the regular sun on this one and then mess with the color settings. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I'm going to post the final right after this. So thanks for watching, and if you guys have any suggestions or anything you would like me to try out, just reach me by email or on Instagram. Thanks again.